No, I'm good. I don't want to eat a bug burger. And honestly, if the planet gets warmer, I think that's awesome. I think that's fucking awesome. No, we'll all die. I think we'll be fine. G. Edward Griffin, boys.
They have one and only one solution for all problems. More government.
Boom! 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 G. Edward Griffin. None of this is new. Nothing that's going on is new. Everything is old. The future is the past. Past is the future. You got G. Edward Griffin's still around. Talking with Anomaly last week. Wow. Incredible. He must have been 20 here. Look at this dude. Which way, Western man? Here's a 20-year-old in 1969. The dude so on point. A 20-year-old in 1969. Clean shaven, got a suit on, mental acuity through the roof. Motherfucker's so on point, he's right for generations. Technological achievements had not even been thought of yet that we are experiencing right now in 2021 that this dude fucking called in 1969. Incredible. Increíbles, my friends. G. Edward Griffin. Hot sauce distributor. What is going on? What is going on? Farmers fight. Farmers fight. Put up the good fight for us and don't let Bill Gates buy any land near you. All right? Get all the farmers together, get a co-op going, and let's start icing out this fucking Bill Gates dude from owning any farmland. He up to shenanigans. G. Edward Griffin will tell you. Spike brother. Tail Gunner Joe and Griffin were right. Dude. Oh, man. Spike dude. I'm going to buy a farm. I'm going to buy a farm. I can't stop you guys from sending money to this channel. I'm going to buy a farm. I'm coming, Bill Gates. So quick in the love. Nice. Wow. Wow. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. Do not forget Yuri Barnaby Jones. I will not forget about Yuri. I hear you. I hear you. Yuri Bezmenov, boys. They're starting to pull some of those videos down. I got to do a better job archiving and cataloging the Yuri Bezmenov videos. Yuri Bezmenov, 1981, going out there doing an interview. He sounds crazy. Yuri Bezmenov sounds batshit crazy. If you're in 1980, especially if you weren't listening to G. Edward Griffin in the fucking 60s, Yuri Bezmenov sounds nuts. That's another dude. The plan's real simple because it's always the same plan. A bunch of tyrants out there manipulate a bunch of soft-headed, dumb asshole people, and they co-opt them, and they use it to they use these dumb people as a weapon against the productive members of society in order to shut us down and steal our productivity, to steal our wealth, to steal our children's inheritance. They're out there, and they also want to harvest. I swear to God, Monsters, Inc. was a totally legit movie. They're trying to explain to you these monsters. There are people out there who are the opposite of us. You operate off. Look at this. I mean, clearly, you operate off of love. You operate off of compassion and community, working together. There are big air quotes. David Icke will tell you this. There are entities on this planet who do not operate. They're the opposite. This universe is very, very intricately built, and there's a yin and yang effect. And there is a group of people who operate off of love, and you'll have the exact opposite. And these people are operating off of hate. They want to go out there and they want to hurt people. They want to make people miserable, and they want to soak up the type of aura that comes off of that. That's how you get demon motherfuckers.
15 to 20 years to demoralize a nation. Why that many years? Because this is the minimum number of years which requires to educate one generation of students in the country of your enemy, exposed to the ideology of the enemy. In other words, Marxism-Leninism ideology is being pumped into the soft heads of at least...
The soft heads! Boom! Boom! Yuri, you've influenced me so much, I use your vernacular.
There's 3 generations of American students without being challenged or counterbalanced by the basic values of Americanism, American patriotism. The result you can see. Most of the people who graduated in the 60s.
So he just lays it out. He's telling everybody, our enemies have co-opted a generation plus of children, and they've educated them through propaganda and astroturfing to hate America. He actually starts throwing around the terms social justice warrior in there. Justice warrior. Social warriors. Absolutely beautiful. And here's the good news. He's telling everybody, there's an antidote for this. There's a way to fight back. And they're both right. G. Edward Griffin, Yuri Bezmenov, they're 100% solid. You know what the antidote is? Us motherfuckers. We the antidote. It's going to take another 15 to 20 years. We have to raise another generation to offset what these criminals have done in our public education sector. We have to offset what the big tech oligarchs have done to a group of children through social media. We have to offset what these cocksuckers in Hollywood have told children through their propaganda entertainment. 15 to 20 years. We got to be 5, 10, 15. Alex Jones been doing it for 20, 30 years at this point. This is the problem that they have. They weren't able to completely co-opt the information. And fuck you, our signal's strong. You know what I'm talking about, Kama. No, I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about the information signal. They can't stop us. Especially with, look at this one, Ivan. Stop donating! He's gonna go on vacation again. Shh. Oh, the Panther. The Panther. The Panthers now made more money today than all the Bernie Bros combined. Eat shit, you commies. Everybody knows the grift. Everybody understands the game. Yuri Bezmenov's telling everybody, 15 years, 15 to 20 years of educating a generation of people about Americana, about some of that MAGA, about explaining to them how they're being fucked with by the big tech oligarchs, the mainstream media press, and their fucking teachers, will set this place back. Will put us back on course correction. That's what they worried about. That's what they worried about. And when they see arrest Fauci trending, they shit themselves. Arrest Fauci. Is it still up here? It's guys, they cannot stop it. It's at 117,000 tweets. And they had to actually put arrest Fauci. They got rid of the hashtag arrest part. They just put, that's weird. Like, Fauci's trending today. Why is Fauci trending today? That's weird. Did he cure a bunch of people? No, fuck no. Arrest him. Arrest him. I want to see military tribunalize Fauci. We will conjugate inappropriately here. We got to take the entire system and let the system know, fuck you. This country is not for the limp-wristed pussies who need the entire aspect of their life bubble wrapped and protected by big pharmacological corporations and the nanny state. Go fuck yourselves. You're pussies. You couldn't do anything on your own. You would never have terraformed this place. Terraformed. That's right. That's what I'm talking about. You don't got that pioneering adventurism in you. No, you idiots out there. You fuckers can only tear down statues and set shit on fire. And I'm talking about literal fecal matter because you mother goofballs over there are insane. You can't build anything. You don't have the testicular fortitude, the ovular fortitude, whatever the female version of that would be. You don't have it in you. You're weak goblin bitches. Watch this. And it's being, again, it's being continued by these groomers, mentally unstable groomers. Where is this? What this? If I swear to God, you parents out there got to be careful. You parents out there have got to go monitor the parents of your kids' friends because these people are in some trouble. Yeah, brother, free Kyle Rittenhouse. I'm telling you, they throw that kid in prison, there's going to be a problem. Thanks, Seth. Arrest Fauci before he germs Santa. They're definitely gonna try to cancel it. Here's the type of moms out there that are making these unstable lunatics. This is gonna make you vomit. So, AIDS warning. AIDS warning, everybody.
So my teenagers are having a bunch of friends over tonight, and like typical moms, I'm really excited, and I've got a bunch of snacks and other stuff, but here's what I'm really excited about.
Now you could the pronoun thing already kind of spoiled it, but you can see where this is going. You can see, oh my God, my teenagers are throwing up. Never again. By the way, your teenagers are now going to be beaten up in school. Congratulations, unless you got some sort of weak ass sauce school. Oh my god, then there's gonna be a bunch of you should first of all, she's stoked that there's gonna be a bunch of teenagers over. I want this fucking parent looked into. Anytime I ever went over to a friend's house, the parents disappeared. They Homer Simpson themselves into the fucking hedges. Because any grown-ass person don't want to be around teenagers. Teenagers are fucking annoying. I know this. I was a teenager. I got some experience. No, I'm like super duper excited. Gonna have all of these teens over. I want to investigate. Where's the when the FBI's done bothering parents at school board meetings? Look into this motherfucker over here. I got a weird feeling that this chick, her husband, and her husband's boyfriend need to be investigated. It gets worse.
So this is like our little welcome to our home, asking that everybody be respectful. We have lots of pets, but then down here.
Look at this dissertation you're gonna go. Excuse me, everybody. Teenagers, come on in. Excuse me, come on in. Make sure that you're 6 feet apart, though, because of the coop. We're still adhering to all the coop. Put your mask on. Christina and Bethany, mask above the nose, or I will tape it. Okay, come on in, everybody. None of you motherfuckers are white, are you? Okay. Anyway, please look at this dissertation that I have here. Here are the rules of my house. No racism. Some kid in the back is like, oh, fuck. Fuck. I was going to be super duper racist until you told me not to be racist. Fuck, I really want those Rice Krispie treats. Shit. If a decision needs to be made between the motherfucking Rice Krispie treats and being a racist, I could probably temper it for a few hours. I need those Rice Krispie treats had the fucking chocolate chips mixed into them, boys. So I won't be a racist, Mrs. Carnegie, for the rest of for the duration of the night. I will put my racism aside. You fucking dumb bitch. You dumb bitch. This fucking mom's an idiot. Holy shit. Again, there's a whole fight. Is there a contract I gotta sign to fucking come over to this house for a fucking party? These kids are gonna get the shit kicked out of them when they go back to school tomorrow. Holy shit. This mom has done. You're gonna have to move, bitch. Move, bitch. Get out the way. You're gonna have to go to another fucking country. Your kids are gonna be the laughingstock of this place. Holy fuck. You're gonna have a bunch of mad lad berserker Trump supporting savages just mocking the shit out of this mom. And these kids are gonna be like, oh fucking hell. Did you want to make conservatives, you dumb bitch? Cause this is how you make conservatives. These kids will be voting fucking Donald Trump 2024. You dumb idiot. This chick fucked up. It keeps going. Captain Mac, brah, come on. Captain Mac. Again. In wine there is wisdom, in beer there is freedom. In water there's bacteria. Benjamin Franklin. Now go buy some decent beer. Oh, you know I will. Oh, give me some German, some Deutschland beer.
Letting all their friends know if they ever need a safe place to stay, that this is one.
No! No! No, again! Fucking warning, warning, warning! You know this motherfucking dad in this household, he got a fucking round head. I'm telling you right now. Excuse me, if any of your racist fucking parents are being racisms to your vagina bits, I'd like you to know that this is a safe place for you to stay. Especially you on the back over there. I see you. Look at that. That's a 12-year-old back there. Oh, that's a 12-year-old? Your parents are probably racist terrorists. You should stay. This is a safe... My husband's super duper safe place. He's got a rainbow bracelet and everything. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. I am lucky that my balls don't work. Because if I had a kid and I found out that my kid was at a house where the fucking mom was telling the kid, this is a total safe place for you guys to hide out from your dangerous parents, is that there'd be a fucking problem. There would be a fucking Krakatoa-like problem on that fucking block. I would be out there every day going, I got fucking this fucking house right here. Look at this fucking house. Look at that. They're telling all the neighborhood, this is a safe place. Investigate these motherfuckers. Holy shit. Red flags. Zayer, red flags. This is where we need a red flag law. We fucking 30 seconds into this, it keeps getting worse. Okay. This needs to be exhibit number 8. Exhibit number 8. This thing's so crazy. It's breaking up my understanding of numbers and phonics, boys. Anyway.
And then I've got name tags for preferred names and pronouns. And then these little sheets for everybody to use to let us know their preferred name and pronouns they should use if speaking to their parents in case they're not out. And I'm so excited.
I want the police. Libs of TikTok. Libs of TikTok. Where did you get that? Libs of TikTok. Help us, bro. You're our only hope. What would you do if your mom did this? If my mom did this, if I was a teenager and my mom did this, Captain Mac again, everybody, again, Shard, Sir brother. If I was one of the kids at the party, I would shit in the bathtub. They're probably used to it. This is some fucking cocksucker in San Francisco. They're like, oh, look at this. It's a San Francisco treat. Air freshener in our bathtub. No, it's a deuce. It's a mystery deuce. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. It goes real well with the AIDS all over the wall. Fucking shit. If my mom did this, hey, listen, do you want to add to that 41+% suicide rate from these fucking teenagers of this ilk over here? You want to add to that? Because that's how you add to it. Dude, these poor kids. Anyway, those are the people. Those are the people who are really upset right now that hashtag arrest Fauci is trending. Look at Joey Forrest. I love you, sir. Sorry, Mom. Oh, damn. I'm telling you. Somebody up in the chat said they would shit in her cookie jar. There ain't no way that you got a cookie jar. They don't bake. These people don't bake. What a mess. What a mess. So that's where we're at. These are the people who are running our country off a cliff. These are the people who are confused why arrest Fauci's trending. Because you're knee deep in this stupid shit. And again, you're doing this around kids, you sending off a lot of signals. TikTok is CCP, yeah, definitely Dom Noah. I'm sure I messed that name up, but holy hell. Holy hell. Alright guys, let's if you wanna join, if you wanna enjoy, if you want the polar opposite of this mess over here, join us in the description box below. We're gonna turn YouTube off. We're gonna move off and hang out on Rumble, Odyssey, even DLive is asshole. If you want to continue the stream with us over there, that's where we'll be. We got, I think we did like way too long on YouTube the other day. Fuck you, YouTube. Dr. Field General Frank, brother. That's our boy, Let's Be Frank. Showing up for support, brother. Stay safe. Stay safe. Let's be frank, man. Mad Ethel, glad to have you back. It was too quiet around here without you. Nothing like a little sprinkle, a little bit of salt on this tasty apocalypse. MAGA mullet activate. Mad Ethel, thank you so much. Nathan, here's an idea for trolling the Alec Baldwin recent events. The Simpsons Treehouse of Horror, 15th segment. Ned Zone shows Ned Flanders using a pistol to fire 3 shots into Homer's back. Someone with video editing skills needs to take Alec Baldwin's face over Ned's and make it into a GIF video. Another Star Trek 4 movie trip up. Oh, this is our boy Nathan. After Chekhov and Uhura beam aboard the Navy aircraft carrier and grab some energons for its nuke reactor, Uhura beams back to their spaceship with the energon transfer device. Chekhov can't get out and is captured by the Navy ship's security. Chekhov is interrogated by federal agents and Chekhov runs away in an attempt to escape. The trippy thing is, the feds confiscated Chekhov's 23rd century equipment. This dude. Nathan, thanks for the heads up. It's a little bit of Star Trek trivia for you, boys. Alien testosterone, salute my salties. Ended the night on Ancient Order of Men after the army showed up and told me he needs to do a series on you. For we are legion in every region. Alien testosterone, bro. Thank you so much. Wow. Wow. Hippocrates, what I miss. You're about to... I know. Man. All right. Should probably start walking off the job, boys. Before we actually jettison, even though a shit ton of people just left. No, we good. On YouTube. Let's do a little bit of civil disobedience before we leave YouTube real fast. Other than going out there and letting these motherfuckers know that we see them, getting out there and telling them, pushing forward with what G. Edward Griffin warned us about, pushing forward with what Yuri Bezmenov told us, you have to go and detonate the narrative. You have to go out there and you have to fight back in this info war, but we also have to have some boots on the ground action. Kind of boots on the ground action. Tomorrow, I should have done this earlier. I fucked this up. Tomorrow, there is going to be a walkout protest for Boeing workers, and they're asking everybody to mount up. If you're in the Mesa, Arizona area, if you're anywhere around that Boeing plant, support, support, support. The optics are necessary. They do not want the optics of watching people standing up against this fucking Fauci criminal. You want Fauci arrested? Keep the pressure on. Build the optics. Point out that these are socialist communist dirtbags trying to kill everybody with their bullshit communist utopia and everything that comes with it. The WOOF is their rollout for communism, and you got to have people standing up to this tyranny. And so you got people, corner of Higley and McDowell. Constitutional Sheriff Randy Miller will be speaking at 10 a.m. And to any of you fucking idiots on the left-hand side, if you show up and you're wearing skinny jeans and one of these stupid fucking masks, you heads up, heads up, because I got a feeling it's Arizona. I think you can open carry in Arizona. You don't want to fuck around in Arizona. This is a public service. I'm not even talking to you guys. You guys are going to show up. This is a fucking warning to Antifa. Do you want to get fucked up? Don't fuck around and don't find out. And if you show up over here and you're acting a fool, you're going to get fucked up. And so the people over there are asking for help. BoeingPatriots.com is where I got that information. BoeingPatriots.com. We need more people walking off the jobs. You just saw it with the GE people. This is how we're getting over the information blockade that these people are doing, because they cannot mitigate. They can't. The optics of this. That's what you didn't miss, Hippocrates. Look at this. Look at these mad lads. They're all walking out of the building. General Electric employees walk off the job to protest against vaccine mandates. Do not quit your job over mandates. The vax and unvax stand together. Look, vaxxed and unvaxxed standing together. You're in some fucking trouble. Tell them Rumble, Odyssey, etc. is free. Yeah, oh yeah, Ivan, brother, thank you. That's a good, somebody a while back mentioned that. They thought that those were... No, holy shit, could you imagine what an ass fucker I would be if I was like, alright everybody, we're taking this show over on the other side of the paywall. I would deserve an ass kicking. Holy shit, no, we ain't putting up no paywalls for any of our stuff. And if you see any ads on any of our videos, that's because we broke some sort of copyright or somebody stole our stuff. We don't even run ads. Even if they remonetize us, we wouldn't run ads. How could we with how generous you guys are? My pronouns are ligmamos, sir. So there you go, friends. They don't like that. It's a bit of a problem for them. They don't know how to explain how all of these people are walking off the job. They don't know how to explain how people are standing up against the vax. They don't know how to explain this. They don't know how to explain why it says arrest Fauci. They don't get it. We fucking coming for you. We coming for the normies, lefties. You better watch out. You better dry off your favorite pair of skinny jeans. Polish off your favorite rainbow dildo. Because we're coming. And we're coming for the normies. We're going to red pill them, wake them the fuck up, and make this country great again. All right, everybody. We're going to go to Odyssey, Rumble, DLive, Pilled.net, and Foxhole. No paywall. No paywall. Just join us over there. We just don't like giving YouTube all of this love. Fuck you, YouTube. Bunch of communists. All right, everybody. Let's take YouTube and turn it off. Somebody was like, dude, you're going to get kicked off of YouTube. I'm trying.
Hi everyone, it's your boy Zach, and this is my video how for SJW Comic Book Pros, specifically diversity hires, that they've gotten special treatment for so long that equal treatment feels like hate speech or harassment. Before I start, Knife Hand Blind Spot, Rock and Roll Ninja graphic novel. Links for those are in the description. Zach Friday sale. Originally, I was going to send all of the existing orders off on Saturday, but I was a little sick. I didn't want to. I was thinking about that episode of The Simpsons where like they're packing something in China and they cough into it and it gets opened in Springfield. I wanted to feel better, before I started packaging up the Zach Friday sale books. But I'm feeling better now, so I'm going to print out all the labels today, package them up tomorrow, and I should be able to get all the backers that are there right now off tomorrow. Then what I'll do is I'll add some new, for instance, I think this Iron Sights, this is sold out, so then I'm going to re-inventory again. So this Zach Friday sale will probably be up for a couple weeks. It's like, get a bunch of orders, fulfill them, then see what's left, break open some boxes, be like, oh, I didn't realize I had this, and then put that up on the list. Now, I do have something that can't go there, which is there are extras of the Expendables goodie bags, and you know what? A year or two ago, I would have been like, I'll just go ahead and throw those in there. But I've learned the lesson, and I've seen the lesson from other people that I don't get to do that until like every Expendable backer has gotten theirs. So that will not be an option on this one. But Expendables will be reprinted in future time, so we'll have them around before there. So anyway, so again, this is a very quick moving Indiegogo, so double check your address because this is going to get, postage is going to print out today. So I did a mini review of this X-Men, The Trial of Kyle. Is Leo Williams trying to put some headcanon in? I mean, it's basically one trick. They make someone gay. So Captain America keeps asking about Kyle, and it's really awkward. So it's not a recommend. But then, you know how it is. Google decides, oh, you read something once. That's your favorite thing. So it recommended this link to me. And just from, like, the title, you're, like, trying your patience. It's, like, interesting. Because we all know there's different rules for different people. We all know that person A of group B will get treated like this, and person C of, marginalized group D will have no expectations. I mean, Vita Ayala is an asterisk, a living asterisk. Whoa, 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 whoa! No rules. No, just we just needed one of those, and now we got one. Cool. But something very interesting is happening in that the honeymoon seems to be over between the Shill Media and SJWs, specifically diversity hires. I'm seeing actual reviews for the first time in years. So just for people who have had better things to do. Obviously you had the 1990s and it was just random websites or forums people would review comics. And then in the early 2000s, it became a vector to get into the mainstream industry. You would either have a column, like Gail Simone did, or you just review comics, like I believe Kelly Thompson and some others did. And that kind of really destroyed reviewing comics because you never wanted to be that harsh because then that person's going to hold a grudge, or if you give too many negative reviews for a company's books, they'll never hire you. So all of a sudden, it was just 5 stars out of 5, 10 out of 10, just everything was freaking amazing. So reviews became worthless. And then these evil people decided to make YouTube channels, and before that some people like Doug Ernst, they had blogs, and they would give actual reviews, and oh boy, SJWs did not like that. And even like the non-SJW mainstream industry, they're like, look, we had basically eliminated negative reviews, because what would happen is if you had a message board or a forum, so and so would show up there. But then sometimes, they would say just flat out, they're like, oh, this is too negative of a place. So the mods would start like banning people, literally just for opinions, because they didn't want to scare away the pros. So what I'm trying to say is that Vita Ayala did not invent intimidating and harassing critics like she did to Wes from Thinking Critical. But and people have pointed, they're like, no one remembers, Vita being this surly a year ago. And she's working with this, I believe, Stephanie Williams on Nubia. Like the first major week in the industry, Stephanie is talking about like her block list. She's bragging about it. The thing is that there was like in America, there's something called the first 100 days. It's for presidents. And the deal is that the press is supposed to, I wouldn't say go easy on a new president, but not just really go hammer and tongs at them. Like, you're supposed to give them a little bit of a break. Let them get settled. You get the first 100 days. Some people get less. Trump. Some people get way more. Obama. It feels like, I would say Biden got more than 100 days, but not that much more. But for SJWs, there's a few years. But, like, I've seen some reviews, I mean, for Tom King that just eviscerates him. And it's basically the stuff I've been saying for the last few years. All of a sudden, you're allowed to say it. And I think that's why we're seeing people who were previously kind of chill all of a sudden get very, very surly, intimidate critics, ostracize people who even follow said critics, because they kind of sense like, oh shit, we're just folks right now. We're just being reviewed like just some, I don't like this. I don't like this. They absolutely do not want to be reviewed just as a writer, because that's going to be a problem. And I got to say with this Leah Williams, the memories of her good stories keep going farther and farther into the past, and there's really nothing new. I've reviewed this trial of Magneto. It's a complete mess. Even and right here, I love. He says, with no body, no evidence, no clear charge for the master of magnetism, and the Avengers milling around like bench players. This is what I've been saying for the last year. People just mill around on Krakoa. Because when you basically put like this triumvirate, everyone says I pronounce it, triumvirate, whatever. 3 people. And again, there was like at any one time, there was like 6 or 7 writers on the X-Men Krakoa books. But it was Leah Williams, Vita Ayala, and Tini Howard. They got like all the press because they had the advantage. They were at higher levels of the progressive stack, or in case of Vita, literally at the top level. Because Vita started claiming trans. I don't remember that. And so they had a few years where they were basically not treated as writers, but in their favor. You would see the review, and they would just kind of like, they would talk about like the industry and the event, and then it would be like 2 sentences for the book. And then what happened a few months ago is people started saying some really mean stuff about specifically Vita stuff, and that it was boring, uneventful. You could skip this issue. It's a huge problem for a writer. This is like, that was just like 3. That was like a headshot, a heart shot, and a kidney punch, like in rapid succession. Those are not things you can walk off. The weird thing is, you can walk off bad, because that's subjective. Terrible! The worst writer ever! But boring? Whew. So they're getting salty. They're going to lash out at, the evil fans. They're going to do like Vita did, try to intimidate, harass a critic, while also basically saying like, hey, if you listen to these critics, you're about to be on the out group too. The problem is, this... I always wonder, like, what if I never did a YouTube channel? Because they were so angry, I was like ruining the plan. Like, what was the plan? You were gonna grab random lesbians from community centers and just wherever and just give them Marvel books, and everyone's gonna be like, yes, this is amazing. Yeah, this is great. Hey, look, they write everyone with the same voice, and they clearly don't even know who anyone is. But no, like this. The thing is, like, specifically Vita, but these others as well, they're following a trajectory where we've seen the entire arc. We've seen Mags, what was it, 2016, Kim and Kim, which got nominated for a freaking Eisner. Within a year and a half, working at every single company, TV deal, goes into production, and within like a few weeks, show canceled, ostracized, fail Me Too of Sean Gordon Murphy, and then GoFundMe, asking for help with rent. That was 5 years. It was kind of weirdly quick and slow at the same time. So, I mean, you can make like less mistakes than Mags did, but they are sensing that they are past the max ordinate. That is the part in the arc where you've gone as high as you're going to go, and now you are heading back to Earth. And they're going to get angry, and then they're going to get vengeful. The emotional blackmail, the ostracizing, the middle school lunchroom mean girls bullshit will step up. But it's on the downward trajectory, so it's just waiting for impact at this point. So anyway, as usual, do not contact any of these people I discussed. They will use anything that isn't a compliment, reframe it as harassment or hate speech, and try to harm you in real life. So just avoid them. But don't avoid, nice segue, Knife Hand Blind Spot, Rock and Roll Ninja graphic novel. If you're in America, you should be getting your books pretty soon. I set this up well, but not perfectly, in that I set up a secret perk for people who had backed the Patreon or were channel members, because I hadn't been providing them enough content. I was feeling bad, so I was like, hey, you can, if you've been a member or a Patreon backer for more than 2 months, you can get a free book. But then the way that it shows it in the items list, so basically it doesn't, I could have set it up better, but I didn't. So I have to like manually count in like 2 different sections, and then so I'm very sure that there's going to be more of this Iron Sights 1 and 2 bundle. I was only able to put up 20 because I was like, I definitely have 20 and then enough left over for the people who got the secret perk. But I'll have to re-inventory tomorrow, and then some of these will stay up. I mean, some of them there's a lot left. Jawbreaker's God King. Then there's going to be some new items popping up on there. Not the Expendables goodie bag, because not everyone of Expendables will have gotten their stuff by then. Anyway, it's I forgot. I'm naming this lipstick on a pig, and I didn't even freaking show that part. So he says, he basically says that the artist did a yeoman's job. They all turned in rockstar performance trying to get lipstick on this pig, but we all ended up splashed in the mud at the end of the day. Rating: no, just no. What does he say? More disturbing is that there are, checks notes, 2 more issues of this to get through, in that 60% of the story has been bad thus far. That's more like a threat than anything else. This train isn't stopping, and we're all just being dragged along the tracks. Rating: no, just no. Yeah, man. So, 4 out of 10. That awkward moment when somebody you were sure you wouldn't see again pops up, and suddenly everyone needs the backstory. Even stuff like this, like you have this trial. Okay, so you got the scales of justice. Except for the composition puts the scales way down at the bottom, and then Magneto is not looking at them, and he's not, obviously he could tamper with the scales because they're metal, as is, the headdress and the helmet, but he's not really gesturing like he's doing that. It's just a generic villain pose, and then it's like, oh yeah, put the scales there in the bottom right of the composition, because literally nothing matters. The thing is, nothing mattered for a while. you were in that honeymoon phase. You were in that first 100 days. You weren't being treated as actual writers. But now it feels like that honeymoon's over, and it's going to be a rough downward arc for diversity hires, specifically at Marvel and DC. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.
If you were wondering which company would help electric vehicles go mainstream, look no further than the company that made the car go mainstream. Ford Electric Vehicles. Built for America. Built Ford proud.
Let me pull up the story we got from timcast.com. Transportation Secretary Buttigieg says supply chain disruptions could continue into 2022. So we just found out that apparently he was on like a 2-month leave.
No one knew.
While the crisis is happening, we're wondering, like, how did this happen? Well, the guy who's supposed to be running that isn't here, for one thing. But actually, before the show, you brought up a really good point about this.
So I have a chapter in the book called Biden Inc., and it talks about all the people that got confirmed and didn't, that we don't know about. And when I say that is, frankly, I don't think Republicans did their job during the confirmation process. But check this out. Pete Buttigieg is 38 years old. He was the mayor of South Bend, Indiana, that has 100,000 people. And do you know how many buses they have? 66
million? 66 million?
No, 66 buses. There's 66 buses in a city of... Okay, and that's who we chose to lead the airways, the railways, the seaports. All of these things are being run by a guy that's 38 years old that oversaw 66 buses.
Let's be real. Buttigieg dropped out through his support behind Biden and gave him a kickback.
But here's the kicker. So when he was confirmed, right, and I talk about this in the book, that the first thing Biden says is, I'm excited to have the most qualified guy. No, he says, I'm excited to have the first openly gay cabinet member to lead a department. And they said that because Grinnell had been DNI, but that's not the point. The point is, when Grinnell got hired by Trump, it was because he was qualified, because he had the experience. When Buttigieg got hired, it was because he checked a box, not because he was qualified.
I feel like, I see Buttigieg, and they make that announcement. He's at the first gay department head. I'm like, wow, that's really cool. Like, congratulations to Buttigieg on his family and his love and his children. So what experience and work do you have?
Yeah.
Like, look, the social stuff aside, we can be like, that's nice.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I think Biden doesn't care about his legacy. He has a guy that's arguing with
But
Tucker Carlson about male breastfeeding right now. That's the argument happening right now.
What he wants to do, because to him, it's more important to say I checked a box. Who did I appoint? Not what did I get done? Think about this.
Real quick. Kamala Harris, she got 0 delegates, right?
Yeah.
So he chooses her.
She's the least popular person who ran.
But what did he say? Not that I want the best qualified VP that can step in and be president. I want to have the first woman, and I'm going to choose someone of color. So he immediately says it's not about qualifications. The other person that I really delve into, and there's a lot of them, but one of my favorites is Dennis McDonough. He's the Secretary of Veterans Affairs. Never served in the military, didn't work with veterans groups, and doesn't have anything to do with health care, right? The only other person in the history of the United States that hasn't been a veteran that was secretary was David Shulkin, who had served in Obama. Trump kept him. He's a doctor. He worked in the VA. He understands health care, specifically veterans health care, right? VA health care systems, how it's delivered, etc. Dennis McDonough had no experience except he had been Obama's chief of staff. That's it. But those are the kind of people that we're putting in place, and we wonder why we are where we are.
This is a point that I have made, because we are looking at a social justice, checking the box for demographics administration. You're seeing it play out. This is what's happening.
And to Luke's point, though, that this is their metric.
Yes, it is.
If you're on the left, it's not what did you get done. It's how many boxes did you check? How many firsts? How many things can we say that you did? So that, it's how much critical race theory did you inject into the system? How many of these, welfare programs did you start? But it's all about being able to lay a marker down for the progressive left going forward.
It's a cult.
Yeah, that's what happens when you let an authority run the show all the time. I think that's why this decentralized United States is so important, and why the private sector is such a big part of our lifestyle. Because you can't let some central organization pick all the pieces and parts every time, because eventually you're going to get some idiot that comes in.
One of the points that I touch on in the book is this: you have to understand what I call the why, right? There's a chapter in here about DC, and people have to understand this because this is so fundamental to what the Democrats believe. The District of Columbia was created by our framers, a 10 square mile district. They took a part from Virginia and a part from Maryland and created DC. When they no longer needed the part from Virginia, they gave it back. I live in that part right now in Virginia that used to be the part of the district. Well, now Democrats go around, they say, we want the people in D.C. to have voting rights. Oh, that sounds so American. Everybody should be able to vote. Great. But my answer is, well, then give back the part in D.C. to Maryland that's no longer being used because, gosh, we did that to Virginia. We took it from Maryland. Give back what's no longer needed. It's already a state. Problem solved. But what do Democrats want to do? They want to create a state among these few 100,000 people.
Yep.
Why? Because D.C. votes 95-5 Democrat, meaning that you will have 2 more Democratic senators in perpetuity.
They like to talk about how, these red states like Wyoming, Delaware. Well, come on.
You want to make...
Delaware is microscopic.
Right. But the point is that the Democrats have an overarching goal, which is to maintain political power as long as they can so that they have a vehicle to push these policies through. And once you understand that these people and these policies are all there for that same collective reason, then you get it.
And this is like the Great Reset using the American Democratic Party. Is this?
Sure, but they all get it. The more people that are addicted to government, the more that they enact policies that ensure that they never are out. You mentioned,
Biden basically hires these people with no experience. Like I said, Buttigieg is probably just, here's your kickback. Thanks for throwing your weight behind us. But I kind of feel like, Donald Trump had some people who should not have been there under the assumption they had experience. I think he thought John Bolton was going to give him good advice, and that was a mistake. Yep. I think he thought Milley was going to give him good advice, and that was a mistake. So I wonder if Trump would have been better off with a bunch of randoms that didn't have experience in the long run.
Well, to some degree, we kind of started that way. I mean, you think about it. Trump, look, if you go back looking through every other candidate in history, they were either a politician, a general. They had a group of people around them, especially in modern times. If you're a governor or a senator, you've got advisors and consultants and donors that can fill spots. Trump was a businessman. He wasn't a politician. So he comes into office. He's like, hey, I'm going to grab that guy, that guy, that guy. Some of them fit well. Some of them didn't. But he had to go through that churn initially because he didn't have a whole group of people that were part of his donors. But there were some people that...
Joe Biden has the entirety of the establishment behind him. This is the best he could do.
Right, but the difference is that he has the people. He's putting them in the wrong places. Right, so it's not that Pete Buttigieg is a dumb guy or couldn't do something in the administration. It's that they put him in a place that he's not qualified. Dennis McDonough is not a bad guy. He's a smart guy from everything I know, but he shouldn't be leading the Department of Veterans Affairs. I mean, he could have been OMB or something. He's got government experience.
What's
He's
OMB?
Office of Management and Budget. I mean, he was Obama's chief of staff. He gets government. He's not a dumb guy. But the point isn't that they're not smart. It's that they're not qualified for the jobs they're in.
This is why I think, Joe Biden's in charge. Some people want to play it out like he's secretly not running the show. Kamala's. No, I think you've got a bunch of sycophants who are sitting around being like, sure thing, Joe, unqualified people. And no one wants to challenge him. The dude's out of his mind. He probably mutters and spurts out gibberish. We hear him say it on TV when he mutters off. My favorite was when he was saying something and then he went, whatever. And just like stopped dead in his tracks. And look, with all due respect, he's an old guy. He's losing it. But I genuinely believe he's sitting in these cabinet meetings and he's like, Kamala, can you, the border, I'm gonna go to bed. And then she's like, I don't know what I'm doing. What am I doing? And then the media's like, where's Kamala Harris? And she's like, I don't know what I'm doing.
I would disagree, especially when we look at what's been happening. Because when you see the policies and who they directly affect, they affect middle America, people in the lower class that are absolutely being obliterated. The billionaire class, they're getting richer than they ever have been in recorded human history. There's a chart going around right now. I mean, you could always ask, who benefits. I always ask that question.
Just because no one's on duty and so the looters are looting?
No. I think the looters are looting more than they ever have because of the policies that they're implementing that directly benefit them. There's a new chart going around right now that says in the United States, the top 1% now holds more money and more wealth than all of the middle class combined. So when we're seeing such a huge transfer of wealth, when we're seeing the American people just thrown down the toilet, being mandated, being restricted, being regulated, being taxed more than ever, who do these policies directly benefit? A lot of the multinational corporate billionaires that, of course, have financed him, have put him into office, and now they're getting their rewards with the policies that he puts forward. And I think he's too delusional. I don't think he's there. I think they're the ones saying, do this for us because we got you in there and he's like, yes, sir, whatever you want. Here's this deal. Here's this package. Here's this contract. Here's this new regulation. Here's this new tax, which will make you win, which will give you money and screw everyone else over.
So I pulled up this chart from Business Insider, and you can see that for the first time, it appears, or not from the first time, but at least in the span of this chart, that the top 1% now surpassed the middle 60%. I don't know if I agree on necessarily what Joe Biden is doing, but I will say that the establishment elites as a whole definitely want to create a class system where the poor working class never move up, eliminate upward mobility, basically just have ultra elites who are wealthy, will always be wealthy. If you're rich and you're born rich, stay rich. Why risk it?
Now, for me, that's not a policy about someone caring about his legacy. That's a policy of a sinking ship. The ship's going down, and we're going down with it very fast. Look at the way China has been establishing their policies, their foreign policy, their domestic trading systems, their Belt and Road initiatives. It's completely 100% 80 degrees different than what we're doing here in the United States.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. If you want to see the full show, come back to this channel, youtube.com/TimcastIRL, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., where you can leave comments and super chat, and we actually will read your comments on the show. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and if you want exclusive members-only content, segments you can't get anywhere else, go to timcast.com, become a member, and we even have full bonus episodes. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.
The perfect podcast is out there. And with over 2 million of today's most talked about podcasts available, Spotify is the best place to find the one you love. Whatever you're into, get way more into it with a podcast. Find the one you've been listening for right now, free on Spotify.
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. Happy Tuesday. We're going to take you back about a year and a few months to the day America changed. You may not have noticed it at the time, but this really was the pivot point. It was the height of the BLM riots early last summer, and rioters in Minneapolis had just torched a bunch of different buildings, and standing right in front of them was an MSNBC reporter who was broadcasting live from the scene. Now, the mob began by torching small businesses all through the city, including a liquor store, which of course they looted first, naturally. Then, as the rioting accelerated, they walked down the street and burned down the 3rd Precinct Police Station, the Minneapolis Police Station. Now, as you saw that happen, you realize, ooh, this is a little different from anything we've seen before. We've seen riots before. In 1992, following the Rodney King verdict, rioters in Los Angeles torched a lot of the middle of that city. But they didn't burn any police stations, because you can't burn a police station because there are police there. And they're armed, and they represent the law. They enforce the law. So you can't burn down a police station, because if they let you do that, then you know the whole system has crumbled. And yet that's exactly what happened just days into the BLM hysteria last summer. A police station was burning. And the implication of that was very clear. And this is why we don't allow police stations to get burned, because the message it sends is this: the police can't protect you. They can't even protect themselves. So the police aren't in charge. Legitimate authority is gone. The mob is now in charge. So as this is happening, there happens to be, as noted, a reporter standing right there with a microphone and a camera taking those pictures directly into your living room. That reporter was called Ali Velshi. Now, he's famously not super bright, but he was on the scene. Watch how he described what was happening right behind him.
The fire engines can't get in here. There's no ability to bring anybody in here to solve this problem. So I want to be clear in how I characterize this. This is mostly a protest. It is not, generally speaking, unruly.
It's the greatest tape ever. You've probably seen it 100 times. We watch it every morning just for edification. It's mostly a protest, he said. Flames in the background. It's generally speaking not unruly, while standing in front of a burning building. So that tape, as we just said, is very famous. And a lot of people look at that and they say, that reporter is a moron, which of course is true. He couldn't even describe what he was seeing accurately. What a gaffe! But it wasn't a gaffe. It was not taken out of context. In fact, it was MSNBC's explicit editorial policy to lie about what you were watching live, to characterize violent riots as peaceful protests. And it wasn't just Ali Velshi. That very day, probably the oiliest of all MSNBC anchors, a character called Craig Melvin, explained the network's approach to the story. And we're quoting, "This will guide our reporting in Minnesota. While the situation on the ground in Minneapolis is fluid and there has been violence, it is most accurate at this time to describe what is happening there as protests, not riots." Paging Dr. Orwell, not riots. Oh, they're not riots. The one thing these things aren't when they're torching the police station and looting the liquor store, they're not riots. Oh, not at all. But MSNBC was not an outlier in adopting this policy of reality denial. Here's what CNN's coverage looked like at the time.
And let's not forget, if anyone is judging this, I'm not judging this. I'm just wondering what is going on. Our country was started because this is how the Boston Tea Party, rioting. So do not get it twisted and think that, oh, this is something that has never happened before, and then this is so terrible, and where are we, and these savages and all of that. This is how this country was started.
Yeah, this is totally normal. We've been dealing with this for hundreds of years. Sam Adams himself torched a Wendy's and looted a liquor store before burning down a police station in downtown Minneapolis. This is how this country started. We've always had riots and looting virtually every day. It's totally normal. So your job as a viewer, per CNN, MSNBC, New York Times, The Atlantic, The Washington Post, all the rest of them, was to remain calm, acknowledge that this is just the way things are, this is the way they have always been, and accept it. The country your ancestors built is on fire, but shut up because your ancestors also burned it down. Now, that's not true. In fact, it's grotesquely untrue. You have to be historically illiterate to believe it. Many people are, unfortunately. But it worked because propaganda does. That's why they do it. So instead of pushing back against this rioting, most Americans kind of went along with it. Well, it doesn't look quite right to me, but this is how our country started. That's what Don Lemon said, so I'm going to kind of go along with it. In other words, as your quality of life declines, you are instructed not to notice. And this trend has continued. The Washington Post just ran this headline, and we're quoting, "Don't rant about short-staffed stores and supply chain woes. Rather than, quote, living constantly on the verge of throwing a fit, we do ourselves a favor by consciously lowering expectations." Got that? So if you don't like the fact that the shelves are bare in your local store, don't throw a fit, don't be an entitled little tool. Lower your expectations. What did you expect in America? Come on. Bread lines. We've always had bread lines. It's sort of charmingly retro, these bread lines. Don't complain as your life becomes worse and as your country degrades. That's the message, and not surprisingly, that message is coming directly from the people who are making your life worse and destroying the country. That would, of course, would be the White House. Here's his grouchy little flack today. Almost impossible to believe this person is real and not just some sort of mock-up of like a Wesleyan gender studies student. Apparently she is real. And today she was asked about these supply chain problems, like our ports are shut down. What do we do? Watch as she mocks the reporter's question. How dare you ask? Watch this.
Just a question on the timing on the supply chain issue. Actions that the president has taken. It was clear in March of 2020 when COVID hit that the supply chains across the world had been disrupted. Even as the sort of work to fight back against COVID proceeded, it was crystal clear that things were not improving on supply chain. People couldn't get dishwashers and furniture and treadmills delivered on time, not to mention all sorts of other things. So why is
the tragedy of the treadmill that's delayed?
Right, the problem. But the serious point is, why didn't the president act sooner in a more aggressive way?
Were you complaining about not having a treadmill? Settle down, Karen. What do you want to exercise? You've got Netflix and weed. Shut up. Get back to your cube. Be happy. Lower your expectations. And if you do go outside, if you notice the Walgreens is, for example, closed, and so is the CVS, because everything in there has been stolen by thieves who have now been redefined as civil rights protesters, stop complaining, Karen. It's always been this way. Now, San Francisco has very few Walgreens or CVSs or stores like that left because they've all been looted by civil rights protesters. But that's not a problem, according to the mayor of San Francisco. In fact, as she explains in this amazing piece of tape, It's really Walgreens' fault.
Ultimately, they've made their decision. We have tried to work with them in order to ensure that we are covered in terms of having pharmacies all across the city. This is going to, of course, impact a lot of our neighborhoods, but I wouldn't go as far as to say they can't do business. They still have a lot of stores. Everywhere you look, almost every corner, you'll see a Walgreens, and some of these stores are not just closing because of retail theft, they're closing because they're not necessarily bringing in the sales that they once did. So I don't want to attribute that completely to just retail theft.
So you're sort of tempted to say, well, if you elect a mayor that dumb, then you kind of deserve what you get. But the truth is, not everybody in San Francisco voted for London Breed despite her alluring name. They don't deserve this. No one deserves this. The truth is, you shouldn't have daily looting in American cities because it's a first world country. This isn't some third world hellhole. This is, once again, the country that our ancestors built. It's a great country. It's a clean country. It's an orderly country. People don't steal. You're not allowed to steal. Okay? Period. But all of a sudden, you can steal, and our leaders are telling you, you've always been able to steal. It's okay. You bring your kids to school, and oh, wait a second, there are junkies living in tents right across from your kid's school. Well, they've always been there too. They were there when you were a kid, you just never noticed. Just readjust your expectations. Settle down, Karen. Here's Seattle's Mayor, Jenny Durkin, explaining that children are just going to have to deal with the junkies living in tents right next to their school. Here's a local news report from Seattle.
Broadview Thompson is a K-8 public school. Its property includes this greenbelt, which was taken over by dozens of homeless that neighbors say are bringing even more problems.
This morning in my garden, I found an empty packet that had drugs in it.
Despite outrage from neighbors and parents whose kids are just now able to return to their school, 2 Seattle School Board members are refusing to let the encampment be cleared. Mayor Jenny Durkin decided not to intervene, claiming the public school property is private property and off limits without an invitation.
Yeah, so the one thing you can't do is expel the junkies, not the homeless. Homeless makes it sound like some sort of protected class of protesters. No, they're junkies. They're people shooting up, breaking into cars to support their habit, selling themselves, pimping out women. They're junkies, okay? And they're on your kid's school lawn. But we can't intervene in that because it's always been that way. Just lower expectations, Karen. In New York City, police have just been ordered not to intervene when they see junkies shooting up on the sidewalk or in a park. Can't get in the way, and you shouldn't, because we've always had junkies in our park. Sam Adams was actually smoking meth on the Boston Common once upon a time. In Washington, D.C., the Metro just basically shut down and pulled 60% of its train cars from service. So commuters, the ones who pay for it, are just have to find another way to get to work because the train service isn't working anymore. Just lower your expectations. In fact, they're lucky. In Philadelphia last week, several people on a train, they got on the train and then they got to watch as a man raped a woman on the train for minutes. Witnesses describe what they saw to Fox 29 in Philadelphia. Here's part of it.
At Upper Darby's 69th Street station, passengers of the Market Frankfurt line are outraged.
The attack was brutal. It was wicked, and the worst part is when the people were watching.
Several people watching, some within arm's length, says Upper Darby Superintendent of Police arrested his 35-year-old Fishton Noy, who investigators say is seen on a train security camera sitting next to the alleged victim, touching her, and then raping her. Investigators say a female SEPTA employee called in the attack, which was relayed on radio about the attacker disrobing on a train at 56th Street Station. SEPTA says Noy was arrested at 69th Street Station on the train in the act.
This has always been the way America works. Remember Kitty Genovese? She was killed and nobody said anything. The difference, though, we were shocked by that 55 years ago when she died. In this case, passengers watched this woman get raped, but they were on their phone. They were online gaming. The police chief of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania's Transportation Authority said that nobody who saw it did anything about it.
I can tell you that people were holding their phone up in the direction of this woman being attacked.
And by attack, just to be totally clear, and I hate to use the word,